What the? Welcome back, guys. The animation studio is finally coming together. We finally went out and we got some clay. So now we're gonna start putting that on my animation table right here. I brought all my buildings. A lot of them are reusable. I kind of just gathered up many different styles and made some out of Legos and cardboard and stuff. So I'll be all set to interchange these in whatever shots I need. I got these really big oversized clothespin things and I used some mounting tape to mount them to the wall. So far they've been holding up. I got those from this pretty cool general store called Flying Tiger Copenhagen. They have a lot of really interesting, weird little items there, so definitely check it out if you have the time. Now I have a backdrop that I can easily switch out, which is gonna be great. I also just bought a couple blackout curtains and I kind of came up with this idea where I could put Velcro on the blackout curtains and put it on the sides of my window frame. That just gives me better flexibility, so when I want to have sunlight coming into the room, I can have it, and when I don't, I can just Velcro that baby up. Other than that, right now things are still kind of a mess, still trying to get some stuff together here, cleaning up. But first things first, we gotta work on this table. It's gotta get done today. It's gotta happen. We're gonna cover this entire table with clay. It'll look kind of like how Brotherhood Workshop, you've seen do it, I'm sure, other YouTubers. I find that this clay look works really good for toy warfare videos that I'm doing. It's supposed to look kind of gross and muddy and destroyed. I really just like this patterning. It just makes it look unique and different, and I like this kind of weird camouflage look for the ground. It'll look better once I really put some figures through it and when I actually get working with it more, because right now it's a little bit smooth, but it'll look torn up and everything once I throw some Hot Wheels over it or something like that. It's really good for just being able to plop something in, you know. A lot of the times I can avoid having to even use a rig to prop up characters in certain ways. And like the less rig removal that I have to do, the better. Maybe not the spoon. Ta-da! Shout out to my girlfriend's hands. Please, in the comments, everybody thank Diana. This probably would not be getting done if I didn't have someone else to help me out with it. Finding the right kind of clay took me a little while. Back on the other channel, Cos Inc., I made a Jurassic Park themed Lego stop motion. I don't remember what brand of clay I used, but it was something I got from Walmart, and it was actually nice and soft, kind of like this. But for some reason, I don't know if it was the reaction with the moss that I bought for that animation. Whatever I was doing at the time, that actually damaged my figures. I think it was at the end of the couple days of whatever character I was using for a particular scene, but I looked at him and he actually had like really big visible cracks and the plastic felt like weird and dry. I was really worried about like that happening again. So I kind of steered clear of using clay in the next few animations that I did since then. And then I finally was like, hey, you know, I really liked the workflow of using the clay and stuff, and that was fun, and I got a lot of really dynamic stuff out of that. So I want to try to go back and do that. You know, I was just kind of experimenting for a while, so I went to, I think it was like one of those 99-cent stores, and I bought probably like 4 or 5 of those like dollar clay packs. And then I was experimenting with like kind of like mushing those together, making like the right colors I needed, and I did a similar process where I put it on a table like this. I was curious to see how long it would kind of stay soft and everything. And I think that didn't last very long. It only lasted a couple weeks or so. And then it was like hard as a rock, like kind of how you would imagine your average 99-cent store clay would be. That was no good. That was kind of unusable unless I wanted to kind of do this process over and over again. And I was reading up online about this fancy Van Aken's clay, which is what this is. We went to a Blick in the city and we found these cool, really good, perfect colors that I wanted. I tested it out and I bought some, and to my surprise, it kind of just, it works out. It just stays nice and soft and malleable for as long as I need it. This is Van Aken Plastilina. I'll put down in the description a link to the website and everything. I think Brotherhood Workshop uses this clay, but I'm not really sure. Don't quote me on that. I very highly recommend using this Van Aken clay, whether you're doing actual claymation or whether you just need clay to stick something together that's not going to dry out. This stuff has been amazing.
A lot of people have asked, is it a lot harder to animate the Lego characters on this clay surface as opposed to a Lego platform? I actually find it a lot easier.
Yeah, Brotherhood Workshop opened my eyes and a lot of other people's eyes to like, oh yeah, clay as a ground base, that's perfect for the heaviness of a Lego person, to keep them kind of upright without having to do any rigs or anything and not having to use the actual Lego base plates and stuff. I think for me, I use the clay base so often, and it's going to be the main animating that I'm going to be doing. All of like the actual work I'm going to be doing towards the large scale, like long-term animation is going to be on this. So I figure it makes more sense for this to be the lasting set piece. And I can still throw up like a piece of cardboard or something on top of this when I need to put like maybe a base plate on top of this, or I could just put the base plate directly on the clay, you know. Especially with needing this much space for the different scale of things, because Legos are really small, sure, but like when I have even just an action figure this size of this Boba Fett, like I'd need a lot more space for the framing. So it really helps to have this available to do. And it definitely cuts down on the amount of compositing that I'll have to do later to make shots seem grander and stuff. It's another one of those things that saves editing time, and I think it just looks better when you can actually see the realness of a physical setting behind them, you know? Not a knock on anybody who's been doing it that way. If you like doing it that way, by all means, like, both ways are great. Whether that be making a huge set or making a really cool detailed digital background, it's really up to you, whatever you decide on. So as you can see, we made a huge amount of progress, and all that's left now is just finish this up and probably call it a night. See you in the next one, guys.